Hello there, fellow cultists. This is DM Nell, and I'm back with another episode of Shadow the Demon Lord Talk. This one is episode number 98. I know in my last video I said it was 98, but that was actually 97 because I don't know how to count, apparently. So this one's 98, and I have to apologize up front for this. The Shuttering Pox finally caught up with me. And I spent the last week hacking and coughing, and although the illness has passed, it has left me with a nice little cough and gunk. So I'm going to try to make this short and sweet and to the point. So for this video, I wanted to talk about character options. Now, most of my videos are or have been mostly about the game system, running the game, and various focuses on different supplements and different adventures and things like that. I have avoided, for the most part, doing videos about character options, and the reason for that is I don't ever get to play Shadow the Demon Lord. I run it. I run a lot of it. But I never get to play as a character. I did get to play as a character in one campaign, which I thoroughly enjoyed, but that was pretty much it. So my knowledge of the character options is very limited. I have them all, but I haven't really bothered reading through most of them simply because I'll never get to use them, so what the hell am I doing reading them? So, but since I want the videos that I create for this game would definitely be lacking something if I didn't at least spend one video talking about character options. And I know I have talked about certain supplements in previous videos, but I really just kind of wanted to do an overarching review, or not review, but a overview of the various options, character options that are available. So let's start first of all with the Paths of Shadow. So I'm on DriveThruRPG. I figured this would be the best and easiest way to go over these because it's organized very nicely. And one of the options here is Paths of Shadow. This is where all of the character path options can be found, and there are quite a few. There are, in fact, 13 options, 13 supplements that are available out here. Each one of them has a different focus. So let's just start with the first one here. Called to Serve is mostly for paths that deal with faith magic, and stuff like that. So, as it states here, devotees of the old faith who guard against the spoilers and destroyers, to the zealous followers of the new God who see evil and corruption everywhere they look. Religion comes in many forms. This supplement explores the priest path in depth. So that's what Called to Serve serves up. And so yeah, I mean, if this is the route you're wanting to take with your character, then this would be a great supplement to pick up. The next one is Bred for Battle. Bred for Battle is for warriors, and I want to say this one is. Give me just a second here. I believe that this one expands the novice paths, but I could be thinking of a different one. So let me just double check myself before I stick my foot further down my throat. All right, so what is this? Bred for Battle. Here we go. All right, so this one. Yeah, this one expands the novice path. So this one is really kind of one of a kind for the. Sorry, I got to get comfy here. one of a kind for the various supplements because it's really the only one that expands the novice paths beyond the 4 core that are found in the core rulebook. And so Bred for Battle introduces several, I guess you could call them subclasses of the warrior. They're just kind of different angles for the warrior path, starting with the armiger. And then you got the barbarian, the enforcer, the gallant, the hunter, the monk, the pit fighter, the soldier, and the spell guard, and then the veteran. All right, so these are all novice paths, and they, basically they give you more options as a warrior to choose rather than just a straight up warrior. Now, they are basically just different takes on the warrior, so they focus on different things. For example, the armiger is a knight, essentially. So you got things like knightly training, mounted recovery, valiant strike, and stuff like that. Barbarian is exactly what you would think. So you have battle sense and furious recovery and overwhelming strike. Enforcer, this is something that is a little bit more of a when enforcers do, they basically go around crack heads. They're like street warriors, I guess you could think of them as. So you get things like demoralize, spirit breaker, cruelest strike, menacing strike, stuff like that. So anyway, I'm not going to go through all of these. The hunter, it's a warrior that has a survival woodland type bent to it. Then you got the monk, of course. You know what the monk is. I got a monk in my current game. So anyway, that is Bred for Battle. So I would say out of all of these, this would be definitely a great one to pick up because it definitely gives you more options at the novice path or in the novice tier. Natural Born Scoundrels essentially expands on the rogue path, so it gives you more options there for the rogues. And then In Pursuit of Power, of course, focuses on the arcane or the magic using path and provides more options there. So these first 4 that have this similar covers, they expand on the 4 core novice paths. The rest of these, I believe most of them are either focused on expert or master tier. But again, they kind of focus on their own thing. So Paths of Iron focuses on expert and master paths that have that deal with iron and steel. So you got things like Bulwark, Masters, Forging Armor, Face Gorge. What else? Yeah, so anyway, Paths of Iron. And we've got Paths of Conflict. Whether you stand with the Orc King or the Cult of the New God, demand for warriors have never been greater. This presents a selection of weapons-focused expert paths that will help you achieve glory in Shadow of the Demon Lord. So, Paths of Conflict is good for fighter types. Paths of Purpose. Destiny lies at the end of many roads, some straight, some crooked. Characters as they explore the world darkening in the Shadow Demon Lord Shadow. Develop their capabilities in whatever ways they wish. Warriors devote time to training, mastering weapons, magicians, tantalized by the promise of power, pursue magic, blah, blah, blah. Shadow Demon Lord offers a multitude of expert paths to capture various roles and responsibilities. So Paths of Purpose, that really doesn't tell me much. So let's see if I can find it in my own collection. Well, it looks like I'm going to have to go to my Google Drive. So, gen up the Google Drive here and see. Paths of Purpose, I believe is what it was. Here we go. All right, Paths of Purpose. So what do we have here? We've got the Cutter. We've got the Exalted. I don't know why that page is blanked out, but it looks like it has the Highlander. Magnate. So this is kind of basically, this supplement looks like it's just kind of a potpourri of different expert paths. So that's what Paths of Purpose is. All right, so back to Drive-Thru RPG. Paths of Horror. Now, this one and the next one, Paths of Science, I love these two. Haven't seen any of these in action as of yet, but these are really cool. I believe I did a video on Paths of Horror already, but this focuses on some, I want to say master paths, but could be expert. Yeah, it is master paths. And it focuses on different aspects of horror. So it gives you master paths that are pretty horrific takes on your characters. So this is a very interesting one, if for no other reason to read through, but if you make it to the master tier and you want to just ramp up the horror factor in your character, this would be a great one to pick up. The next one is Paths of Science. Again, this one is a great read. It's interesting because of the various takes that you have for the expert path. Kind of focused on weird science. So you have things like the Plague Doctor, Maker of Monsters, a Reanimator, and it also expands some options for rogues with some new roguery talents. So I have read through Paths of Science. This is a really fun supplement to get with expert stuff in it. So that's those two. Paths of Darkness is likewise kind of in the same vein of those last two. I don't really recall that, so let me pull up mine here. So what do we have for Paths of Darkness? We have, these are forbidden paths. So if you want to take your character into the Forbidden Zone, deeper into the Forbidden Zone, then you have master paths here to let you do that. So you have the Agonist, which feeds on pain, I'm assuming. Yeah, pain. Then we have the Puzzle, which is basically you're making your character a harvester. The Soul Eater, which does that. It eats the souls. The Symbarite. Symbarite is a sexual energy eater. So if you want to play a sexy life force drainer, there you go. The Unbodied. This is really interesting because it is a character that I believe gives up their body, and not really exactly sure how that works. Can't recall, but anyway, the Worm Host. So if you want to be like the Cayuse type dude, where your body is infested with worms and shit, there you go. Okay, so that's it. So this is Paths of Darkness. A little bit on the weird side, but if that's your jam, there you go. Soldiers of Fortune presents new expert paths with a martial bent. The Bloodletter is a vicious brute who revels in carnage. The commander can devise battle plans to secure a decisive victory. For those who prefer to take shots from the back ranks, the targeter can transform a character into a deadly archer. So that'd be Soldiers of Fortune. And then we have Paths of Power. So this focuses on let's see, I believe it's expert paths for arcane users. Passive power deals with the sorcerer, spellbinder, warlock, and wizard. Offers upgrades and enhancements. So basically, it takes those the spell casting expert paths and kind of relooks at them and offers some interesting options. So that is Paths of Power. And then lastly is Paths of Battle, which I believe takes a look at the expert paths that are warrior types. Supplement focuses on paths allowing character to develop their martial skills and presents, again, the Berserker, Fighter, Paladin, and Ranger. Those four are the ones in the core rulebook, and looks at them again with new benefits. Also introduces the Knight. Yeah, so that's what you got with Paths of Battle. All right, so those are the various options. Excuse me. Those are the various options or character option supplements that are available on Drive-Thru RPG. And you can see that the prices vary. Call to Serve seems to be, and Pursuit of Power seem to be the two pricey ones. And by pricey, it's still less than $5. So the rest of them seem to be anywhere between $1.50 to $3.50. There's one down. These two down here are 99 cents. So very affordable. Definitely, if you don't have these in your collection, I would recommend you pick up a few, if not all of them. All right, so the next thing I wanted to look at here is the Victims of the Demon Lord supplements. And these offer various looks at ancestries. So you've got the first one here is, and by first I mean it's the first one on the Drive-Thru RPG. It's not. I'm not talking about these in the order that they were released, because I believe this first one here is a newer release actually. All right, so this one focuses on the Farron class, which I believe was introduced in Demon Lord's Companion 2, I want to say. Maybe? I don't know. Anyway, so yeah, it talks about the Farron and it gives expanded options for that ancestry. Then Ghost in the Machine, one of my favorites, is focused on the Clockworks. So it expands. Clockworks gives lots of tables to randomize various aspects of the character creation from the ancestry perspective for the Clockworks. Then you got Only Human, which does something interesting, which is takes the boring human and gives you options to make them not quite so boring. So this is definitely a if you're not the type of guy that likes to try to play an ancestry that you have no idea how to play, like who really knows how to play an elf, or who really knows how to play a dwarf or an orc. But everybody knows how to play a human. So if you're the type of person that likes to play humans, I'm one of them, and you just want to make them more interesting, this would be a good supplement to pick up. Heaven's Sent. This one focuses on the Sylph, which is one of the elemental ancestries. And the Sylph was presented in Demon Lord's Companion 2. This expands the options for the Sylph. Then you got Born to Kill. This is the Orc expansion. So if you love playing big, bulky orcs, this is the one for you. Then you've got Stolen Lives, which focuses on changelings, I believe. Changelings, in my campaign anyway, I think that we've only had one changeling. And haven't really, I think that may have been, actually, I'm not even sure I had a changeling player. I don't remember. Anyway, haven't really heard a whole lot of talk about changelings. I think they're really interesting. It'd be interesting to roleplay a changeling. I think what I'm thinking of is there was a changeling in the campaign I played in. So that could be what I'm thinking about. No, actually, okay. So yeah, I did run a campaign. It was kind of like a one-off campaign that had a changeling in it. All right, that's what I'm thinking of. All right, forgive me for that digression. All right, so that's Stolen Lives. Then we have For Golden Glory. Dwarves are one of my favorite races, ancestries, whatever you want to call them. In whatever game you play, I love dwarves, especially the the dour, perpetually in a grumpy mood, obsessed with treasure, gold, always holds grudges. That's the dwarf that I dig. I think of it mostly as a Warhammer dwarf, because the Warhammer basically, for me, codified for me what a dwarf is. Not really dwarves from popular culture per se, because those dwarves are basically portrayed as just another version of a human for the most part. But I definitely dig the Warhammer take on dwarves, and I think Shadow of the Demon Lord kind of emulates that take as well. So For Golden Glory takes the dwarf and all its awesomeness and makes it even more awesome. Then you have Between Two Worlds. So this is, what is this? Between Two Worlds. Huh. Well, are you sure I have this one? I'll have to put this one in my cart. Yeah, weird. Okay, so, well, actually, I probably do have it. Hold on. Ah, there it is. I already have it. Whew, almost bought it twice. Sorry, Schwab. All right, Between Two Worlds. This one talks about, I think it's the Fawn. Is the Fawn? Yeah, this is the Fawn. So the Fawn was introduced in Demon Lord's Companion. And this takes the Fawn and expands the various options for it. Ooh, nice picture. So that's what Between Two Worlds is. So if you're tired of your Fawn being compared to the satyr on the Hercules cartoon, or that archetype, pick up Between Two Worlds, and you can make your own version of the satyr or the Fawn. All right, so that was Between Two Worlds. What else we got here? Snot and Stitches focuses on goblins. So goblins, I'm not a big fan of goblins in any other game except Shadow of the Demon Lord. In other games, they're as villains, goblins are way overdone. It seems like just about every starting adventure, first, second level adventure, has goblins in it. I'm so done with goblins. But in Shadow of the Demon Lord, you can actually play a goblin, and they're fun. They're disgusting. They wallow in filth. They thrive in filth, and they have funny names. It's like Snot and Stitches. So you can have a blast playing a goblin in Shadow of the Demon Lord. So this would be a really fun supplement to pick up for that purpose. And then Uncommon Courage focuses on halflings. Again, not a big fan of halflings. I mean, yeah, Lord of the Rings pretty much, in my opinion, did everything you can do with a halfling. I did have a friend when we were first starting to do Dungeons and Dragons back in the 80s. I had a friend that played a halfling thief. And that to me kind of sticks in my mind as the perfect race class mixture, halfling thief, just because of that character that my friend played. So that's what I always think of as the best use of a halfling, simply because I really don't think that even in a fantasy world that a halfling would last long, simply because they are, they're half the size of a human. Dwarves are too, but dwarves are big and stocky, so they make up for it in girth, whereas halflings are just little people. And I think they would thrive in being a class that is sneaky, like a rogue, but maybe as an arcanist if they stand in the back and cast spells from the back, or perhaps as a priest, but definitely don't see them as any type of warrior class. I just don't see that happening. They're just they're not physically suited for it. So it kind of breaks my suspension of disbelief in that regard. So I'm not a big fan of the halflings, but I know there are people out there that dig them. So this is the supplement for you. All right, so that is those are the 10 supplements that are available for ancestries in Drive-Thru-RPG, and that pretty much cares for the standalone supplements. Now there are other things there are other expert paths and master paths and ancestry information available in the various other supplements that mixes those types of things with other rules, such as Demon Lord's Companion and Companion 2, for example. Those also have various character options, so I would be remiss in not mentioning those. Those definitely, in my opinion anyway, the Demon Lord's Companion is one of the essentials. You gotta have that. Demon Lord's Companion 2, not as essential, but if you're a completionist like I am, you need to make sure wow, can I talk? Your collection's complete. Then the Demon Lord Companion 2, of course, you would need to pick up, but not a necessity in my opinion. All right, so those are the various character options. So I wanted to spend at least one video highlighting those. I apologize for not doing a deep dive on each of those, but that would take multiple videos, and I just, like I said, I just don't have the personal experience with them to do them justice. So my recommendation is pick them up. They're cheap. Just read through them. You'll not be sorry. They're good. They're a good investment for future gameplay. All right, so with that, I'm going to wrap up episode 98. As always, I want to thank you all for watching. Appreciate your continued views and anything you can do to help grow this this hobby, this little niche of the hobby. I'm doing my part, so I ask for you to go out and evangelize. If you're going to a convention, run some Shadow of the Demon Lord games. I got a convention coming up this weekend. I was going to run some games, but unfortunately I am on call for work, so I am not able to do so. But at some point in the future, I hope to run some more Shadow of the Demon Lord games in conventions. At least here in the Kansas City area where I live, I've yet to see a Shadow of the Demon Lord game offered that wasn't offered by me in the conventions that are being held here. And honestly, I think I looked at a couple of other big conventions like Gen Con, and I'm just not seeing Shadow of the Demon Lord games being run out there. Maybe they are, and I'm just not aware of them in other smaller venues. But run some games, man. Go to a convention, sign up to run a Shadow of the Demon Lord game, and get the word out. This is a great game. I think a lot of people are missing out on it. So anyway, I'm doing my part by producing these shitty videos, and so hopefully that'll help. So with that, I'm out of here. Thanks for watching. Hail to the Demon Lord. How the hell do you turn this damn thing off?